Coming up on this episode of Brody Even Talk Pinball, we've got a bunch of new games that were just revealed that we'll go over.
We're going to recap Pinburgh, the Buffalo Pinball Summer Open, and we're going to draw our winner for Pinstadium Lights.
We're going to do a bit of venting and then drop some bad news. So all that and more coming right up.
Double super jackpot!
I need a ramp. I need a loop. I want targets I can hit. I need the scoop. I need a double super jackpot in my life. That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rudy Soup of WTAS. Coming up next, we have Nick Lane and Kevin Manny of Buffalo Pinball rocking all the hits with the Bro Do You Talk Much show. Only on WTAS.
All right. Thank you, Rudy? Question mark? That was beautiful.
He went to town this morning.
Yeah.
He's a custom one he did just this morning.
He did this morning?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that makes it even more special.
We love you, Rudy Soup.
That's fantastic. He's a creative guy.
He's
that Rudy
creative.
Soup.
He's committed. That's why we love him.
Well, welcome to Brody Even Talk Pinball. It's Monday, August 28th, and it feels like it's been forever since we did a podcast because Pinburgh happened, Buffalo Pinball Summer Open happened in between the last time we did it. So
Bunch of games got announced.
bunch of games got announced. I feel like I'm a year older. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. So,
Even
all right.
more of my hair's falling out. It's crazy.
There you go. Oh yeah. Let's not go there. All right. Well, let's kick it off right. Let's thank our partners before we jump
do
into
that.
all this content that we got to dig through. Big thanks to Comet Pinball. First of all, Comet Pinball was a sponsor of the Buffalo Pinball Summer Open. Their sponsorship went to the prize pool for, we'll call it B or C players, either way. We were able to pay them because of Comet. So here's the deal, guys. If you're looking at LEDs to buy, they have some of the best quality LEDs on the market, and they support pinball. So that's an easy choice for us, Comet Pinball. Double Danger.
Wait, before we move on from Comet, they just announced my favorite light bulbs, the Sunlight LEDs. They're now available in a whole bunch of different styles. So
Oh, okay.
brand new line
Nice.
of products from them. So go check those out. Those are my
Cool.
recommended
Yeah,
go-to
a
lights.
lot of people love
Those are
the
ones
sunlight
that-
ones.
So if you came to the Summer Open and you played my space shuttle, it had the Comet LEDs and the GI. So
Oh,
there you
look
go.
good.
The
Yeah,
sunlights.
it's a compromise between like warm, which is warm's like more the kind of classic look or incandescent bulbs, and then the what's the other?
The
like
cool
the cool,
white.
which
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looks like almost. I mean, to me, that's like an operating room look. In some games, it works out.
Right.
Sunlight's kind of the
in between. Yep.
All right, Double Danger. They make swag and shirts. They now are carrying the. I'm only here for the TGP,
Oh yeah.
right? You got
Which-
that new shirt.
This weekend I saw it in the UK and in Canada
Yeah.
on streams. So
So if you're a pinball tournament nerd, you know exactly what that means, or at least sort of what that means, and you can grab that shirt from them. ddpinball.com. Then we got Pinball Life. Pinball Life makes pinball parts, accessories. I'm ordering from them like once a month because of the business now. We get all of our parts from Pinball Life, so thank you. Jersey Jack Pinball, maker of Hobbit, Wizard of Oz, Dialed In, and the now shipping Pirates of the Caribbean.
yes.
Super excited. Ours is going to be coming in a week or two.
Yeah.
It's on it's on testing.
Final testing,
It's up to Jen this week. It's in final testing. Cannot effing wait. I don't even know why I didn't swear there. What is going on?
Because you're
I'm
thanking
rusty.
our partners. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Wait till we're done thanking our partners, and you can swear.
That's for you, Jersey Jack. No cussing, just for you. Titan Pinball makes silicone rings to replace your crappy rubber rings. Get rid of those. Throw some Titans in there. Community Beer Works just opened up their new location in Buffalo. It's beautiful.
Nice.
They've got our pinball machines in there. Check it out. If you come to Buffalo, best beer in Buffalo, Community Beer Works. Pinstadium. We're doing a drawing for Pinstadium. Pinstadium was also a sponsor of the Buffalo Pinball Summer Open. That allowed us to give all that money from their sponsorship to the B&C prize pool. So thank and support Pinstadium. They're fantastic. He's got no rival in terms of lighting kits, so
Yeah.
it's an easy decision.
Yep.
There you
Plus,
go.
they provided lighting kits for all of our games in the final. So if you watch the Papa stream, they were all lit up super nice.
Oh, yeah.
because of
Looks great.
Stadium lights.
Thank you, Pinstadium. Good guys. Both Pinstadium and Comet. Pinball Arcade, maker of virtual recreations of real pinball machines. And then finally, Tilt Cycle, tiltcycle.com. Dan Burfield, making art for your game room. If you don't have a Burfield in your game room, then get the hell out of here.
I'm looking at one right now.
A lot of these folks have coupon codes when you type in Buffalo. You'll get anything from 10 to 20% off to even Dan Burfield might show up at your door.
There you go.
And have cake with you. I don't know.
He'll give you a high five.
Sure. Well, you promised that you said it, so it has to happen.
He will.
All right, Kev.
Should we jump into some news and updates? We got a lot to cover.
We do. Yeah. Why don't you tackle that?
Kind of the big thing is Deadpool. So this is Stern's latest game, hotly rumored Deadpool. It's amazing zombie Yeti artwork. Please and thank you. I will have another. Designed by George Gomez, software by Tanyo Kleis. If you don't know Tanyo, I think he was on the Head to Head podcast. He did an awesome interview. You can learn all about him. But he's been with Stern since the Star Trek days. And Pinstadium, thanks for those bits, dude.
Boom.
So he's been with them a long time. This is his first lead game. But we'll see where it goes from there. And the pricing is $59.99 for a Pro, $75.99 for a Premium, and the LE is $8,999. $9,000 for an LE MSRP. You can get the street price, a couple $100 off of that.
Wow.
But,
all right.
There you go.
But that's for the true rich kids.
So, what was your response to this game when you first saw it?
So, I think we knew this was coming down the pipe, right, for quite some time, and for at least a year, and it looks really busy between the artwork and the playfield that there's kind of a lot to take in. I'm excited to play it. We're actually, here's the kicker. Right now, Game On is getting it delivered as we're doing this podcast. So Game On is 5 minutes from my house. Kevin is 45 minutes from my house. Translation, I won't get to play Deadpool probably tonight. I'll have to wait 24 hours. But I'm excited to play it. I haven't read much about the game. I haven't watched too much video on it. The only negative that I can think of right now, and Lord knows I'd love to do that. I'm a kid. But
you're a pinball person, of course.
Yeah, well, I know I fit in well with this hobby, right? I like the Deadpool movies a lot, and I don't care that it's not based on the movie because there is something to be said about like the timelessness of having it not based on the movie and that comic. Mm-hmm. I just worry, and from what I've read, that like the humor's not there, right? The movies are hilarious. Ryan Reynolds kills it. He is Deadpool. So I think inevitably you can't help but compare it to the movie, and especially if you love the movie. So hopefully that's not true. Hopefully it is funny, but Deadpool needs to be funny in my opinion because it's a good chance for Stern to do kind of like a humorous pin, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't have a lot of those like pins with humor in them. So this is like the chance, and hopefully it delivers.
So here's my take. I'm actually excited that it's not based on the movie. I like that it's got the comic book look and feel. I'm not a comic book fan, especially of Deadpool. I only know Deadpool from the movies, but I think going with the comic book feel and license gives them more freedom, gives them a lot more leeway. They don't have to kind of follow along a storyline from the movie or whatever like that. So with that said, though, like with any original theme, you have to create everything for the game. I mean, they have the Deadpool characters and stuff to work with, but they have to create the storylines and all the dialogue and everything like that. They can't just pull Guardians and throw in a bunch of dialogue and clips from the movie. So I really like the LCD screen animations. The 90s fighting game nerd in me really connects with that, and I like equating a pinball machine to fighting a one-on-one fighting game kind of battle. So I'm very excited to try that out. I've been watching some of the streams. Abari Game Bar was streaming it tonight right before we went live. So I like what I've seen on the streams. From what I'm hearing is there's still quite a ways to go in the code, which is a little disappointing considering how complete Iron Maiden was when it came out. But I like it. I mean, it's beautiful. If the gameplay plays as great as it looks, then I think they got a winner on their hands. Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I agree with everything you said that, the fact that it's not based on the movie gives them a lot of leeway to be creative. And I know they hired comedy writers that are recognizable to work on the game. So if it's at least half as funny as the movie, then they've nailed it and that'd be great. My only concern is the humor in it.
Yeah. That's I mean, humor is hard to pull off, and
because that's what Deadpool is.
In a pinball machine, you're going to hear it a bazillion times, especially if you have it in your home. So they have to have a lot in there, and it has to, they have to mix it up and keep it fresh and interesting and hit you at unexpected times. And yeah, it's all about the timing, right?
Hopefully, it matches Big Buck Hunter's call out of that cow's pooping points. Yes, that's a thing.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. It's it's a favorite call out. It's good.
So bad, it's good, but it's so I don't know.
Good, it's so bad.
I don't know.
Yeah. trying to think. What's another recent pinball machine you would consider funny?
That's the thing. Nothing comes to mind. Like, I think we were straining to think of something.
Chat room, help us out. If you find a pinball machine that you think is funny that was released in the past,
It really
10
wasn't.
years. Yeah.
I mean, there's Family Guy, but that's going back 10 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I
It's a
don't know.
long time. All right.
There's a market for that, I think.
Yeah. So, Dialed In is funny. Dad joke. Yeah, Dialed In's got some little quirky things. Like
It does.
The Trailer Park Girl.
It's fun.
Yeah, she's funny.
It's fun.
Yeah.
We need like a Rick and Morty pin.
Yeah.
That's just me. But.
There you go. With that, so we will be streaming Deadpool soon.
Yeah, we got the new Bro season coming up
Yeah.
next week.
Yep. So that'll be part of we got a whole lineup of new games ready to go for the next season 5 of Bro.
Spoiler alert: Jay dies, but then he comes back.
And you're gonna find out it was all a dream.
Yeah,
You're gonna be really mad.
exactly. He's been in a coma since April because he hasn't been on the show since like March or something weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is true though.
We're almost to syndication though, so that's exciting.
There you go.
All right. So not only was Deadpool released, another game was released, and that was Mafia by Team Pinball. Oh, that's not what I want. I want this. There it is right there. So this is a brand new company. And I know when in the pinball world, when we hear brand new pinball company, we all kind of like, hold up, get all nervous.
Roll your eyes a little bit.
Yeah, roll your eyes. But they're doing it right. They already built 10 of these.
Okay.
And they're only going to build 100.
Yeah.
And
It's manageable.
yeah. So they're starting off with realistic expectations. They're allocating 35 of those for the U.S. and I think all of those are going through Joe at Pinball Star. So if you want to grab one, you can
Only
get one from-
35. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna get gobbled up.
Yeah, there's enough like high-end pinball collectors that'll be willing to buy this. So the thing about it is the playfield's pretty straightforward. There's a spinner, a couple orbits, some pop bumpers. That's about it.
This game reminded me when I first saw it. I immediately thought of Break Shot by Capcom from 1996.
Yeah, I get that.
It's got that. It's got the pop-uppers located where they are. It's got the shots around. It's got that captive ball only on the other side. I don't know. It's not like a carbon copy of it, but it looks pretty damn similar. It's got the straight up the shot.
Yeah,
there's a spinner on that, but there's that straight up the shot locking mech. And it's also no ramps or anything. It's a flat kind of old school game.
So I was watching Pinball Live was streaming this from Pinfest in the UK, and it was a lot more impressive than I was expecting. The light show reminded me a lot of Total Nuclear Annihilation,
cool.
believe it or not. So in an old school looking game like this from pictures, it's got a really modern kind of light show, and it's got the LCD screen in the back box. It's got a newspaper kind of feel to it, so it's not super crazy, but if it's the theme and it's
good.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear the game, or I don't remember like the audio on the game that much, but somebody was saying that the audio is kind of repetitive. But
It's interesting that they're only making 100 of them. That seems like such a low number. I mean, even when they made America's Most Haunted, there was like 300 or 350.
no, I think they only did 150 of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they started with 150,
Wow. Okay.
and then their next game, what was after that? Rob Zombie. They went to.
So I mean, they must
300,
figure,
yeah.
look, we know we can sell 100 just because there's only 100, so people will just buy it because it's limited, no matter how good or bad it is.
Yep.
That will give us enough money to fund the next one or something like that. So
Yep.
cool.
All right, so Monster Bash, the folks at CGC, Chicago Gaming Company, surprising nobody with the announcement that Monster Bash is going to be the next game released, and give this one up for the detectives on Pinside. I guess CGC had announced that they had been UL certified, which is, I can't remember what that stands for, but it's basically the certification for the electricity in the game, and somebody went on the UL website and dug through there and found that it was Monster Bash. So it's like you give the internet a little bit of information, they're gonna figure it out.
Good
so
job.
they did it, and they forced their hand, and then they had to announce it. So
Not a surprise, though, as you said.
no,
It's a game that people have been demanding and want. So
Underwriter Labs. There you go.
Cool.
Thank you, Attack. So yeah, if you like Monster Bash, there's going to be more of them out there. I think from the Medieval Madness and Attack from Mars releases, we've seen they do a good job. Kind of step it up with 3 different levels of game. And you know, what's better than a brand new 90s classic Williams game? That's great. Good on them.
maybe a new Jersey Jack or Stern. Maybe.
There you go. Maybe depending on your perspective.
Depending on, yeah. It's going to make a lot of people happy, though.
All right, before we get into our Pinburgh recap, I just want to give a shout out to these beautiful Buffalo Pinball mugs that you can order
Sound
now.
like Kevin.
BuffaloPinball.com/merch. You can get one that has just the Buffalo Pinball logo, or you can get one that has the sweet skull on the back, too. So.
You know what's amazing about that? I didn't know you're going to do that pitch, and nobody else did because we always do the partners in the beginning. So maybe they try to get cool and try to skip over that.
Yeah.
No, you just
Snuck
got
it right in
sold.
there.
That's right.
Yep.
You just got advertised to you. You didn't even see it coming. Go buy it.
Go buy a mug. Enjoy your coffee or hot chocolate or whatever you enjoy. All right, let's talk Pinburgh.
Hot toddy?
You could have one of those.
Okay.
If that's your thing.
All right.
Attack. Pinburgh.
Yeah.
So how was Pinburgh?
Pinburgh is fun, as usual. I had a frustrating Pinburgh, and I probably wasn't fun to be around. At least I'm sorry to all my groups. I'm not fun to be around.
My
at
favorite part
Pinburgh.
was like Saturday. I think Dan Burfield came up to me and said, "Can you where's Nick? Can you have him come over and say hi to me?"
I gave Dan Burfield a hug. I said hi, and I felt better when I saw him.
Everybody kept asking me where you were. I was like, I don't know. He's probably off, storming away to ignoring everybody. Because if you know Nick, that's how he is when he plays competitively, right?
Yeah, I get focused on the task at hand. So I see people who recognize us from the show and stuff. So I apologize if I'm not the most affable person at the moment. But yeah, I'm super competitive.
Yeah. So Saturday night, you can talk to Nick at Pinburgh.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Saturday night's great,
Yeah.
dude. That's a time. let's get a beer and hang out with me. I'm actually
Get some tacos.
pat myself in the back. I'm fun to hang out with. I've been drinking.
This guy.
There you go. All right.
So,
I've accepted things at that point.
so you had a hotel that Jay had reserved for you, right?
Come on, Kevin. Dude,
You got to share the story.
we didn't talk about.
I don't think we've talked about this.
Jay, you know what? We made the mistake of giving Jay one job, and that was booking the hotel. And he went ahead and booked it and didn't let us know that they raised the rates from the previous years. And so we paid like 3 times as much as Kevin paid for like the Omni. So anyways, we just threw him away a bunch of money thanks to Jay.
But was it worth it for the
He's an
luxurious,
expensive friend.
suite and convenient?
Oh, I
location?
slept on the floor the entire time.
Oh, there you go. So you really,
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
cool.
like $500 for a few nights. Sharing a room with Rob and Jay and sleeping on the floor. It's great.
it's all your vacation
Stuff
dreams.
dreams,
coming through.
stuff dreams are made of.
Yeah,
You know,
rich kid stuff right there. It is. All right, so congratulations to Keith Elwin. He won Pinburgh.
he's amazing.
He is amazing. Nicole
Everybody knows
Bernier won the Women's International Pinball Tournament, the first ever. Buffalo's own Gretchen Kamke came in 4th. Hello, representing for the ladies.
crushing it.
And Buffalo. And then she just won the women's
Classics at
women's-
CNE, the
was it
Canadian
Classics?
National. I don't know.
I
either
think
Classics
she
or
won the
women.
women's. And
Okay.
yeah.
She's just crushing it.
Yeah,
It's hard to
she's
keep
just like-
track when you're being awesome.
Yeah. So Gretchen and Summer both put up on a good show up in the CNE PC.
So they're good representatives of Buffalo Pinball. So we're proud of them.
Yep. Good job, guys. So did you play Alice Cooper or Thunderbirds at Pinburgh
No,
in the Pinball Star booth?
I didn't, and I'm totally regretting it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had like no desire at the time, or I don't know. I should have played it, but I didn't. I'm really bad.
Well, I was going to ask you what your impressions are, and then I can't do that.
You can't. So you're gonna have to talk.
You failed the
What's your
podcast.
impressions, Kevin?
Yeah. Can we talk Thunderbirds first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
You
Yeah.
can because I
Yeah,
no
it's,
discretion on this.
Thunderbirds looks better than I was expecting in person,
She's not saying much.
aside from the little cheesy plastic trees that they got from like the dollar store.
We have no relation to Thunderbirds because it was a show that aired in Australia, right? So it's not like we have an attachment to it. Like I've never seen the show or
Yeah,
know
and
anything.
I think it was on in the 60s or something.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it just
Yeah.
okay. So, anyways,
before our
it
time,
doesn't-
so the theme doesn't speak to this.
yeah,
The gameplay, I played like one game of it, so I take my assessment with a grain of salt and with that in mind. It has this center ramp that is probably the most unsatisfying ramp ever. It just kind of like wobbles down this ramp and doesn't really follow the ramp very well, and it just like flops into the back. And then all I remember is it kept saying like Thunderbird 5, Thunderbird 5. And spelling International Rescue is one of the objectives of the game. You have to spell all of that, however many
International
letters.
Rescue.
Yeah, however many letters that
Oh
is.
wow, this is a great game for teaching your kids spelling.
If you like spelling, this is
What are
your
you
game.
shooting to spell it?
I have no idea.
Too many
Yeah,
things.
I
That's the answer.
didn't finish my game. If that tells you what.
Well, here's the thing. I think when I've seen pictures, obviously, of the game, and when I saw that center ramp, I was like, nope. Because think of what is one good game of a center ramp like that? You're taking too long. That's my point. There's not a lot of good games where this ramp is in the center. Like, there's okay games. I'm not saying they're bad, but I think the center ramp is just Rolling Stones, Police Force, Jokers, mousing around, right? Like, I'm not saying they're terrible games, but no one's running, like, tripping over themselves to buy these games. Game show, right? Thunderbirds, maybe it was made in the 80s and it's just resurrected now because that was, like, the thing. They had, like, a plethora of, like, center ramps, and they're like, center ramp all day.
This one doesn't even return to your flipper, though. It just, like, goes into the back of the game.
Oh, interesting. Well, at least it's different.
Yeah. It dumps it off into the back. Boop. There you go. You did it.
Instead of just shooting it up the back via not a ramp. Isn't a ramp, like, supposed to return to the flipper, generally speaking, or another flipper?
There's, like, not even a switch on the ramp, so it doesn't even know if you're hitting the ramp.
That's weird. I thought the point of ramps is, like, a safe return shot, but it just transports it.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry. You didn't make Thunderbirds. I'll let you have
It's Thunderbirds in a nutshell, from what I understand. It also has really weird flipper buttons. So it has, like, video game style lit flipper buttons. It's weird. Like, they're more concave than you would expect.
Okay.
And it just felt different.
Yeah.
Different enough that I was like, oh, that's weird. And other people said it, like, actually hurt their fingers. Like, I don't know. It didn't hurt my fingers.
Yeah.
But,
so you don't want to mess with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, when you've conditioned people and nobody's like, you know what's ruining pinball right now, other than Buffalo Pinball? It's flipper buttons.
Yeah.
They're a disaster, and they've been for the last 50 years. And thank God Thunderbirds came along, and they made these new flipper buttons.
Yeah, you don't want the first interaction a person has with their machine to go, ugh, or what's going on here, or have some weird reaction. So, Skip Natty says he saw a guy cut his hand on it. So
is he serious?
Yeah, and Girl Geek says it wasn't comfortable.
All right.
Okay, so they were there at Pinburgh, so I can confirm they were there.
Are you done trashing Thunderbirds?
I'm just giving my impressions after like 2/3 of a game.
Okay, fair enough.
We may get some more time on it and to share some of that with you guys soon.
Okay.
Alice Cooper. I played one game on that.
Okay.
Because the Pinball Star booth is really mobbed, and you have a bazillion other things you need to do at Pinburgh. So I played it once. The code is obviously very early on it. I think it's beautiful. I like the whole, like, castle and the molding and everything. Not enough time on it to really get a feel for it. The shots are not. It's not a flow game.
Yeah.
And what I noticed is that, like, the ball disappears a lot because it's got that big castle thing. So every shot you shoot, the ball kind of disappears. Mm-hmm. I was able to get it up to the upper playfield and flop it around up there a couple times. And I can't really speak to the rules of the game or anything like that, but I think it's got potential. It's in wait and see mode for me right now.
Okay.
I want to see where it goes, but I think it's got potential.
Do we know anybody getting one?
We do. James is getting one.
Oh, he is. Of course he is. That's right. You told me this.
He's early on the list too, so as soon as he gets it, we'll be able to stream that too.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm excited. That's fun.
Thank you, James. All right. So anything else about Pinburgh we should go over? Bethlehem?
I didn't see Bethlehem. Oh. You didn't either, though.
No,
right?
I didn't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So no Bethlehem for
No.
us.
We were too busy getting, fourth in the trash talker.
We did.
And congratulations to Ryan from Head to Head. Or no, Martin, the other one.
Martin.
He took first place.
Yes.
It's kind of BS though, because they started putting money all over the playfield, and
that's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. But in the end, we gave what was it, like $800 to the charity, so that was good.
Martin's a good guy. We got to meet Martin. I've never met him before. He played VR with us once, right? He tried to play Star Trek.
Star Trek.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a good sport. So yeah, congrats to him.
Mm-hmm.
We were just being good hosts, and we let you have that. So,
Welcome to the United States.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you.
You got on a plane and came all this way, though. You might as well get whatever charity you need to feed back there in Australia. I don't know.
And he got some Pinstadium lights that went to Project Pinball, so that was cool.
All right, cool.
And thanks to Pinstadium for donating those two. All right, moving on. Jersey Jack Pinball, Pirates of the Caribbean, is entering production.
I already spoiled that.
We talk about
Yeah.
it. Spoiler alert. Nick already told us about that. But
I might be a little excited to get the game.
So we had it at the Summer Open.
Yeah,
and
what is it?
The prototype, and we hadn't played it since the reveal stream that we did at Expo in October of last year. And the game's come a long way since that. And the time away from it, you start to forget about it a little bit, and you haven't had your hands on it in a long time. And I played it there, and I'm like, all right, I need to have mine now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, rekindle my love. Like I played it one game, like damn, I'm really excited. Yeah, same deal. And I gotta say, it held up and made it through the Buffalo Pinball Summer Open. We ended up pulling it actually in. This is the prototype, by the way, so that says a lot. We pulled it in the finals after a few games because there were some ball hang-ups, like ball getting stuck. But, I mean, the thing held up like a champ, and good reaction. I mean, the players appreciated it, and they were choosing it. Like, players were choosing in the finals, which is a good sign that they wanted to play this game. So, thanks again to Jersey Jack for sending us that. I know a lot of people who aren't, like, the most competitive people who are playing in the tournament were excited to have that. You know, folks who know that, listen, they're maybe new to pinball. They're not going to get in the finals or anything like that, but they were happy to have the opportunity to play it there.
Yeah,
so, very cool.
It's cool to be able to bring people the opportunity to play new and unreleased games like that and Lexi Lightspeed too.
Yeah.
All right, so it's entering production. Jack did his cartwheels.
Yeah.
If you saw the video on YouTube or on Facebook, he did his cartwheels. It's official. I think Helicon Brewery right just outside of Pittsburgh was one of the first locations to get theirs. So if you're in the area, you can go check that out. And like Nick said, ours are in final testing right now, so we should have them within a week or two.
Awesome.
There'll be lots of streaming.
Kevin will stream the heck out of it. I got to figure out how to get it into my house and then into the basement, which requires taking the head off. So maybe I'll play it in December.
Who wants to come help Nick take the head off his Jack Pirates?
You're helping.
I'm trying to get out of it. So I got a whole stack of gear from Amazon to do direct audio and video out of it, like I have been doing with Dialed In. So
cool.
It'll be looking hot. Oh, great. Yeah, let's update Java right now. Yeah, good idea. No. Yeah, gotta love Windows.
Because it's Tuesday.
Yeah. All right, so Paul Faris is joining Deeproot Pinball.
Okay.
So
sweet.
Artist behind the classics Paragon, Future Spa.
They're getting some talent over there.
Xenon, Centaur, Space Invaders, and the Grand Lizard playfield and the original Backlash.
I could see the correlation between Future Spa and the religious game that they're making. So great choice, Deeproot.
Good combo.
It's like, we were looking at Future Spa the other day and thought you'd be great for Fire and Brimstone. You know, really capture that.
Really
get that
really
sexiness of the Bible. A little Sodom and Gomorrah.
Well, it's a little salty.
Yeah.
The Old Testament.
What kind of mixed messages are you sending?
So yeah, it's cool to see. They're just like throwing money at all the talent in pinball that really bringing everybody together. Steve Bowden's moving down there. We saw him at the Summer Open.
Yeah.
He's finally moving down to Texas. So
Attack's going to come up and help with. So you have to.
Oh, okay. There you go. Cool.
There you go. We'll give you a guest room, and
you can have coffee in the Buffalo Pinball mug.
There you go.
Boom. We just had Deadpool announced, but there's another game that's been leaked. And it's been talked about for a while. There was an announcement that Eddie Munster was going to Texas Pinball Festival. So people were starting to put two and two together. And they're like, oh, maybe it's the Munsters. And then these pictures started popping up all over Pinside.
Just a cabinet that they're showing.
That's the LE cabinet. And we should say we don't know if these are real or somebody photoshopped these. But
real or fake?
They look pretty real to me.
It looks like Munster Bash. Look at that.
This one does.
That's clearly
clearly
tapping into Monster Bash. It looks, if you just show this picture to me quickly and I didn't know anything about them, and I'd be like, oh, that's Monster Bash. Super quickly.
Monster Bash. So I like the LE is cool. It definitely the
LE is kind of cool. It's different.
That reminds me of Addams Family.
Unique.
Like an Addams Family Gold.
Sure.
That's what
that's
makes
fair.
me think about. So there you go. Munsters.
That's going to be one of those, is it by Kapow? Like one of those super expensive ones? Like those super
I don't
expensive
think so.
license?
I think that one is going to be Beatles from what the rumors are saying.
Okay. So this is if it's a good game. Dude, I've never seen the Munsters.
Again, yeah, it's an old theme for people who have the money to buy these things.
I guess. Is it for the age 50? I mean, maybe you're 40, I'm 38, and I'm not a spring chicken. But it's the Munsters, man. When I was a kid, I remember the Munsters being a rerun, and I'm like, what is this old black and white show? It's just not.
It's
you think if you did a He-Man or something, not that. I'm just thinking of 80s stuff. But anyways, yeah, the Munsters don't do anything for me, and apparently not Kevin.
Nope. It's gonna have to sell me on gameplay and layout.
Oh, nice. You put the walkers in the chat.
Those are for me in Attack because we're old.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm using a walker, but I still don't care about the Munsters.
All right. Losing hair.
Yeah.
Using a walker.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here, kids.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for news and updates. It's time to pull a winner for our Pinstadium.
Oh, this is fun.
Update. So our Pinstadium giveaway. So thanks to Pinstadium's in chat hanging out.
They sent us their games. They sent a picture of their games like that they want a Pinstadium on, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got some really dark games. So one guy even like photoshopped out the center of the of the playfield all black. He's like, I really want them.
Skip Daddy says Kevin's really looking forward to Bonanza Pinball.
Yeah,
I've seen some Bonanza, kid.
You know, there's a lot of poker games. A lot of poker games. I want a Pinochle pinball machine. Maybe some shuffleboard integration.
Bingo.
There you go. Yeah, we can bring the bingo pinballs back. All right. So the difference with the Addams Family, though, is that they had a new movie that came out in the 90s.
Yeah, it was based on the movie in the 90s. It rekindled. Like, so if they came out with Munsters as a movie, then, yeah.
Yeah.
It was based on the movie.
There's nothing recent to kind of stoke the memories or, like, bring a new generation into the fold with that.
Exactly.
So, all right. So what we're going to do is we had 12 entries. I've entered them into a spreadsheet in the order of that they came in. I'm going to ask my phone, I won't say the name of it so it doesn't set all your devices off, to pick a number between 1 and 12, and then that will...
I want to do that now, but I won't.
I've done it on stream before.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. And that'll be the winner. So pick a number between 1 and 12.
The answer is 8.
The answer is 8. That is Pinball Undesirables.
Oh, congratulations.
Pinball Undesirables. I think he's streaming right now, so go tell him that.
Well, perfect.
Go run over to his chat and tell him that he won.
Yeah, I mean, perfect. So you can use it for streaming. There you go.
Yep. So you'll be able to check that out on his channel, and we'll connect Pinstadium up with Pinball Undesirables. And congratulations to him, and thank you to everybody who entered. Thank you so much to the Pinstadium crew for hooking us up with that to give away.
Yeah, that's very cool. Thank you, Pinstadium. Taking care of the pinball community.
All right. One can be picked because I'm not using an Amazon device. I tested it earlier and it picked one, so it will pick one. All right. Let's get into the Buffalo Pinball Summer Open.
Buffalo Pinball Summer Open at the Sandy Beach Yacht Club.
So what is the Buffalo Pinball Summer Open?
Oh, my God.
People are just tuning in.
It is a Stern Pro Circuit event, which there's one. This is 1 out of 20 tournaments in the world that has the honor of being a Pro Circuit event. This is our 3rd year of it being a major tournament. And we had 138 people play in the Summer Open, but I think 148 people total because of the
pre-tournament and the women's tournament.
Yeah, and the women's tournament.
It was like just under 150, which is
so
awesome.
It was a huge success. It was an amazing endeavor in terms of the time, energy, and talent that went into it. I think people were hesitant, and some people came up to me and told me they were hesitant about the venue change, but it certainly won them over. I think, and maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think this is one of the best tournaments I've ever been to. Kevin and I ran it. Of course, we didn't play in it, but like just the venue, the way it was run, the feedback that we got. Doug Polka from Papa said he's been to obviously a ton of tournaments. They run Pinburgh and Papa, and he said it was a world-class tournament. So there's no better praise than that to me. So I'm
absolutely
very proud of.
I hold Doug in very high regard. So for him to praise us like that, it's amazing.
Seriously.
So, why don't we kind of take it back to, so this year we had to do a whole lot more than we have in the years past because we were having it at this venue, right?
Yeah, so I'll give you guys a little bit of backstory. We had the first 2 years at Pocketeer, and Kevin and I have always chosen not to get in the weeds in terms of pinball drama, and believe me, when you start getting more into pinball, you see stuff, but just to kind of go on record and have people understand why we made life a little more challenging and difficult for us this year, it was because Pocketeer treated us very poorly for 4 years that we were there. Such that I've told some people the long story. I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, we don't need we don't have time for that.
That's a one-on-one. But needless to say, if any business ever treated me like that, I would never walk in there again. But we sort of continued having events there because that was our chance to bring pinball out to the public. We could have just done it from our house, but that limits it. And then also we had a lot of challenges with them and just running the tournament. We asked for things to be done, like more space for the games. They promised and they didn't do it at Pocketeer. They promised they would work on games or bring more classics. They didn't, and games would go down. So it was just very frustrating. So last year we said, look, we're either not going to do it or we're going to do it someplace else. And Jamie Brundage, who is almost the unsung hero, the backbone of Buffalo Pinball and the community, a collector since the 90s, the best tech in Buffalo, one of the most generous guys I've ever met. Super helpful. He said we can have it at the yacht club because he's a member there, and he helped broker that relationship. So we then went from running an extremely complicated 3-day tournament to not only running it but doing the logistics of event planning, bringing 25 to 30 games to the venue, getting all the games ready, coordinating with all the collectors in the area who were helping to bring some classics, working with the staff there, mapping the layout. The staff at Sandy Beach Yacht Club, God bless them, they're amazing people, and we're super kind and super awesome to work with. This is a much better experience than the last 2 years. This is like night and day.
And those are all the yacht club members too. They had those orange shirts on, but those aren't like staff there. Those are the club members.
Those are the club members
pitching in and helping.
They had to redo like the electricity just for this event.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing all the things that they did.
And like everything we asked for, they're like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. It was they covered up the windows so there wouldn't be light in the players' faces while they were playing. There was no glare. Everything. They helped us unload games and set them up. It was everything we needed.
I mean, it used
they kept
to be
the bathrooms clean.
They did. It was a beautiful venue, and it used to be that we would plan and we would promote, and we would do. There's a lot of pre-work that goes into a tournament like that. But we would check out the games and test the games the last 2 years. We did all that this year, but this year we're going. Kevin and I are driving around on a Wednesday all over town, just picking up games
in Rob's van.
Like crawling on the floor, leveling all the games, like just there for over 70 hours each of us that week. We've doubled the amount of work that was put into it, but the motivation behind that too is because I knew we can do a better tournament. And all the criticisms or negatives of the first couple of years of the Summer Open, and believe me, this was a very successful tournament, were things that were out of our control. So we found a nicer venue. We found a friendlier staff. It was air conditioned. There were clean bathrooms. There was more room for people to breathe and go outside. The classics were in a hell of a lot better shape. We had more techs on hand. We had 5 techs total throughout the event, 2 at all times that were on at the ready. We had walkie-talkie packs so we can address games quickly. I mean, this was a well-oiled ship, especially after doing it for 2 years. We had that under our belt. So I think I'm super happy and super proud of everybody involved because I think we delivered an outstanding tournament, and we delivered on sort of the promise of giving a better tournament, even though we had a venue change.
Yeah, and when you announce a new venue like that, people are skeptical. They're like, especially at a yacht club. There's never been a pinball tournament at a yacht club. It's like, what is this?
Prove us wrong.
What's the dress code and all that stuff. So there's a lot of questions going into that. We knew, so even Nick and I were skeptical when Jamie first invited us out there. We're like, a boat club, really? Because
we were. I was like, we'll go look at it. Yeah. But I'm thinking maybe a brewery or something like that.
But then we got there and we're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it would be so awesome to have pinball people here playing games and then hanging out outside, and that's exactly kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Thanks to Carl D'Angelo's software, people were able to get text updates when they were ready to queue up. So they could go out between games and hang out outside by the river. I escaped out there when took one of my few breaks during the event. I was like, first I went and took a nap in my car because I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And then I went and sat by the river for about 20 minutes. And then
I did the same thing. They had like Adirondack chairs right by the river, and you just chill out. And it's amazing. Like you can really just get away from it all. And people were taking advantage of that. It was beautiful for the most part. I think there's a little rain or a little overcast one day, but just a great place to have a tournament.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Totally would do that there again if we ever do it again.
Yep. So let's back it up to like Thursday when actually Wednesday. Wednesday we were still setting up games and getting everything ready, but we had kind of an open night for people to come and play and stress test games.
Stress tests, yeah.
And for the club members to come and enjoy the games as well. So this was a benefit to them to kind of come out and play the games, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, being kind and respectful to the fact that we were taking over the yacht club for pretty much a week between just bringing games all the way back until like Monday or Tuesday to like the following Monday or Tuesday when we pulled games out there. So we took over their club, right? So
in the summer in Buffalo.
Yeah, we let the club members come in and play games, and they're getting exposed to pinball and sort of this culture of competitive pinball and players coming in from all over, which I think they commented many times over how like what great pinball people are and stuff. So that was cool.
Yeah. So we just everybody kind of hung out. You and I played a whole bunch of Pirates that night, from what I remember. Yep. We were still setting up games, getting everything ready, but that was a chance for us to just kind of chill and play some games and hang out with people, which was nice. Buffalo Pinball League members got invited too as a kind of a perk for being a league member. So then we moved to Thursday. Thursday was the pre-Buffalo Pinball Summer Open Flip Frenzy tournament presented by our buddy Steve Daniels. And it was the first time we've done a Flip Frenzy tournament in Buffalo. What'd you think of it?
So I've done that tournament before because I went out to Steve's co-op.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was the perfect pre-tournament for a serious tournament. And let me caveat that. It's very cool because it goes quick. You're quickly on a game and you play a lot of different games. So I heard some players say, oh, it's not really fair. And it's true because sometimes you can play more games. You can game the system by like trying to drain quickly or concede so you can get back in line and play more games, which gives you an advantage. So it's not the most, how do I want to say this, fair and balanced tournament. But what I was telling people is like, look, this is like the fun, super casual tournament before things get serious the next 3 days. So just enjoy it. And I think overall people loved it. I had a lot of fun. That's totally the pre-tournament that I would recommend doing. Again, if we ever do this again, I think that's the perfect format.
Yeah, it was super fun. Like I had never done it before, and Steve added in a bunch of like cool little extras. So like when you're waiting in line, you didn't have to wait in the queue very long, but when you did, he was running trivia questions and giving away. He had pulled together a lot of giveaways and stuff like that. I won a Pinball 102 DVD, which I was pretty excited about.
Oh, you got that?
Yeah.
I was borrow it then.
There you go.
It's on DVD though. I don't know.
I know. It's like it's only 480p. I don't know. Oh god, I know. So yeah, a lot of cool things. I donated a gift, and our podcast listeners will appreciate this for last place. So I think in 2013 I went to the Canadian Championships and they had a silent auction or a basket raffle or something, and I won a autographed photo of Circus Voltaire signed by John Papaduke. Mm-hmm. So I said, Steve, you have to take this and give it to whoever gets last place, and that's what we did. And it was who was it? Tim Latulip, I think, ended up getting it. So he was excited. There you go. But yeah, overall, I thought the Flip Frenzy was fun. I kept getting put on classics, so I got a lot of games in.
Yeah,
but I didn't play very well. I got like 5th from last. How'd you finish up in it?
I missed the playoffs by like 1 point.
Oh,
I couldn't like win the last 2 games. I was stuck on 8 Ball Deluxe, and was I playing against Osric? I think he beat me. Like I put up like 700,000 on 8 Ball Deluxe, which normally is like solid.
Yeah, not against us. He's a beast.
I think it was him. Forgive me if I'm wrong because I played 2 games of that, but someone came from behind, just smoked me on it, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" That person had like maybe 200,000. Wow. So, yeah, I was beaten down a little bit at that point, but it was fun, man. I did good overall. Yeah. I was playing well that night.
Cool. And then we did a new thing where we pre-registered folks after that. So, kind of. In our aim to improve every year, actually, I think Summer recommended this. Why don't we open it up to pre-registration on Thursday, because we have that big crush of people on Friday morning. Yeah. You have like 50 people waiting, and Nick and I are like, rapid fire trying to get people in and playing as fast as we can. But this alleviated a little bit of that, so we were able to improve in that way.
Yeah,
this year.
I think even on top of that, you put another person. You can have 3 people during registration.
Oh yeah,
at that point, just to even get through quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But this was our largest tournament. Yeah, we had like I said, 138 people in the regular one. So every year it's gotten bigger.
It's quite awesome. All right, so let's move to Friday. Was the start of the event. We had classics. We had main started, and we streamed the classics finals that night. Stream went well. It was I'm trying to think who won. I had the list here.
John Flinton.
Yeah, it was John Flinton.
Yeah,
and I remember Steve Daniels took second.
Yeah,
because I remember watching him he was like the last player, and he was trying to catch.
He's trying to come back on his own game.
Yeah, and he was like talking out loud. It was really a cool moment. So if you want to go back and check that out, I did finally convince my video editing program to export that successfully. So that's up on YouTube if you want to check that out. It's also on our Twitch channel. Saturday was the Classics 2, another Canadian one.
Jack Tadman.
There you go. And that's also on YouTube.
They all travel on. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah. They come down and they take all our Magic Pinball points. Yeah. We moved it closer for them this year too, so it was even easier.
They're pretty much like our closest people we can root to from. They're almost like from Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like our sister city almost.
Exactly. They're like an hour and a half, 2 hours
in terms of like, especially in pinball.
And they don't run. There's not. I was talking to Adam Becker. He's like, there's not big tournaments like this in Canada. There's just not enough people. So this is like their opportunity to come and play in a tournament where there's a lot of Whopper points, a lot of players to play against. So it's an awesome opportunity to be able to bring that to them as well. So that was Saturday. Sunday was the finals. We had Papa was there doing their awesome streaming. We had Domino's delivered a whole bunch of pizza.
Yeah.
We also had the women's tournament
free
for
pizza.
the first free pizza, free brownies,
Free
and
wings or chicken bites.
chicken bites and breadsticks. I think
Maybe somebody hijacked the breadsticks.
maybe I can't remember what I ordered, but they gave us a whole
It was a
bunch
lot. It was a lot of food, and it was good.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks to Domino's, Pinstadium, Comet Pinball for donating for sponsoring the tournament. It was one of the biggest corporate sponsors Pinball's ever seen. You know,
Boom.
Pinburgh had eBay.
Yeah.
Buffalo Pinball had Domino's.
But to thank Adam Gasick for helping to broker that deal.
Boom.
So he's doing a lot for pinball, man.
He is.
Yeah.
Making pinball machines,
Oh yeah.
getting sponsorships. Let's see. And so that was Sunday. Things kind of wrapped up, and then this year, last year, so the past 2 years, once Sunday was over, we were able to like pack up the streaming gear and then get the heck out of there. But not this year. This year we had to pack up all these games and get those out of there too.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, that was like really like talking like 12, 14-hour days.
Yeah.
Back to back since like I was there since Tuesday.
Yeah.
To Sunday. Didn't get home until like 11 o'clock on Sunday night.
Yeah, I was spent.
And then we had to go back. You went back Monday to pick up games, and I went back up on Tuesday to pick up and unload games. And I'm still doing like post-tournament stuff because I still got to send checks out to people who donated their games for the coin drop. And
Jeannie needs to be set up at Game
oh,
On.
Jesus. I'm getting, I can feel like a tension in my stomach right now.
So yeah, it's kind of there was another whole other layer of planning and work to be done even after the tournament was over.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's still not done.
Yeah.
Still not done.
I am amazed with how fast Papa is able to pack up and get out of there.
That's amazing.
Dude, they were like less than an hour to pack up all that stuff. They're gone.
This is not their first rodeo.
No.
So
yeah. And they're going to be at Cleveland next weekend streaming too, so
that's
we'll
cool.
see those guys there.
By the way,
too.
yeah, we're going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So
if you want to hang out, we'll be
Yeah.
in the Cleveland
We'll be there.
Pinball show.
hang out with me after the tournament.
There you go. Yeah, don't talk
Give
to
me a
Nick
couple
too-
of beers, and then we'll hang out.
If you
It's
see me,
all
I'll
good.
say hi and
Yeah.
at least be courteous. Nick will probably have his headphones on and ignoring
Something.
everybody. So that was the Summer Open. Overall thoughts about the event? What do you think?
We crushed it.
think
And
so.
many. I mean, if I get in the minutia of thanking everybody, but really, we've got an awesome community in Buffalo. We really do. We're fortunate to have great collectors. You know, like the 5 techs that we had, none of them are tournament players at all. They can care less. They came out because they love pinball. We'll get into that kind of stuff. But thank you to all of our volunteers. Thank you to our officials. It takes so many people to pull off a tournament.
Awesome. So with that said,
So we're not going to do the Open next year because we're kind of spent.
yep.
We're kind of frustrated. We're kind of burnt out. So no Buffalo Pinball Summer Open next year. I don't know if it's in hiatus forever. We'll reevaluate in a year, 2 years, 5 years. I don't know. But Kevin, you sent me a message last week because look, we're gonna have to do some venting because a lot of people love this tournament, and we owe them an explanation as to why we're not going to do this again. And then also, I'm not going to tell this story a million times. So when somebody asks me, hey, why aren't you guys doing this? I'm going to send them to this podcast. So if you're in the
Timestamp
future and you're listening to this, you probably just talked to me in person. I sent you here. Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
Hopefully I'm in a better mood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. We're very frustrated. Like
Yeah. So what was it, like Tuesday, I think?
Tuesday hit a breaking
Tuesday
point.
afternoon, I was just like, you know what? I just sent
There's
Nick a
some
message
shit that went down that day.
and I was just like, Nick, I'm okay not doing this next year.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you mean? What's frustrating you? And I started talking about some of the things. You're like, yep, that's it. We're not doing it. 'Cause I don't even know where to start.
Well, and I said to you, I was like, I hear you. Okay, I don't need an excuse not to do this. Like, I'm sort of sick and crazy. Like, I just sort of charge ahead, even though the hell with my like health.
Yeah.
You know, the health, the stress, the hell of everything else, to my detriment. So I'm glad, like, you know, when to put the brakes. And as Kevin and I have always said, even when we start streaming and doing tournaments, we're only going to do this until it's fun. And it definitely wasn't fun.
Yeah.
In the way that it's very satisfying to put on the tournament, but it wasn't fun in some ways.
Yeah. So people do the things they do because of what happens to them when they do it, right? So if you're doing something, you play pinball probably because you have fun with it. You play competitively because you win, et cetera, et cetera. We throw tournaments because we like hosting people and giving people an opportunity to experience this awesome game that we love so much and share with everybody. To that end, the feeling I had coming out of the open was not a feeling of satisfaction. I was just frustrated, stressed out, just ready to be done with it. And there's a number of reasons why we started venting about things, and so like we said, this year there was just so much more involved, taking games off route, putting them in this yacht club.
Yeah, I mean, like there's not one thing, because I think this is also like years of like stress and drama and like frustration that like sort of builds up, and you hold it in. You're like, all right, hold on, time out. Like this is getting too much, because this is a hobby, and I don't want to hate pinball. So I'm happy to throw the brakes on when Kevin's saying like we need to stop. Like that's a serious thing. But one of the things that came up was very frustrating to us was money and charging money for the tournament. So I'll give you guys an example. We charged $25 for the tournament, the entry fee, and then our pricing structure was an entry costs $1, but it also costs $1 to coin up. So we would charge people $2 when they bought an entry, right? One that goes in the prize pool and one that goes to the machine, just like we've done the last couple of years at Pocketeer. But it threw some people, threw like 2 people off.
Right.
That it seemed like we were raising the rates, or we're taking too much for the house, right? Because the $25 wasn't going to the prize pool. I mean, first of all, $5 goes to Papa in all these tournaments, plus $1 per IFPA tournament. There's 3 tournaments, so potentially you're cutting $8 out the top, and that left us with math.
I don't know, 25 minus 8,
something. Yes, potentially. So
13.
So here's one of the issues that we're sort of forced to address and bring up. When we announced the pricing structure of this in January, it was Bo and Karen's publicly kind of questioned us as to why our pricing structure is like this.
It was on Tilt forums,
and we addressed it on Tilt forums. And when things come up like that, it's frustrating to have somebody who's never been to the tournament before question what we're doing, sort of question the integrity of it, or why we're doing this, or as if we're trying to pocket money for this, right?
Or we're trying to be secretive about it or anything like that.
And it also takes time from our day to address this. And we did address it, and I think we did a good job, and that way we can point people to Tilt forums. But it's frustrating, because I don't understand why somebody who's never been to that tournament comes and criticizes it. And Bowen is the TD for tournament director for Pinburgh, so he knows what it's like to be in the receiving end when people give you a hard time. And it also puts us in a position where we have to address it, right? Like if we don't, then it looks like you're hiding something.
Right.
So, okay, that happened back in January, but then Greg Pavarelli made a post about how kind of great the tournament was. He was highlighting all the positives, and Bone jumped in again about pricing structure and payouts. And it's like, dude, you're not even playing in this tournament. What is going on? And it's insulting, because our techs see this. The operators who have to take games off routes where they stop earning money to take them offline for a tournament, they see this. And it's totally insulting to them, because that's where the money goes. We need to pay, obviously, the operators for the pinball machine and parts. The money that we had that comes in for the Buffalo Pinball Summer Open, that $25 after we get done paying Pop on the IFPA, that's our pool of money to buy necessary equipment in order to run the tournament. And then what's left, we can compensate people who invest their time. So I wanted to pay the tax. I didn't know what we could possibly pay them, because we don't know how many people are going to show up, right? I'm still figuring out how many techs we have and things like that. And also, we decided a couple years ago to try to incentivize people other than Kevin and I to run tournaments by, if you run if you don't play in the tournament, we'll give you a percentage of what we charge. And we're always, anytime we've like quote unquote kept money for the house or Buffalo Pinball, we've always made that transparent in terms of, 80% goes to the prize payout, 20% goes to Buffalo Pinball, whatever. And out of like the 50-some tournaments, 50, 60, I don't even know what we're up to. We've run a lot.
Maybe 100, who knows?
All the opens, we've taken a cut, and a couple other ones that we've run out of our house. And, I think that's understandable too.
Yeah.
But we've always been transparent. Most of it we don't. Obviously, for a monthly tournament, we're not keeping a cut, even though we're volunteering time. So here's some transparency for you guys. Take a tech like Jamie, who put in more than 70 hours, right? How much, if you hire a tech and you pay a tech to come out to your house to fix a pinball machine, how much does that cost on average, Kevin?
Like $50 an hour, I would say.
$50 an hour. Okay, so mathematicians, if you were going to pay him the going rate, 50 times 70.
Let's internet or let's math with
That's
Kevin.
like 3,500, I think.
50 times 70.
Math.
$3,500.
So if we were going to pay him an honest going rate, that's $3,500. All right. You know how much we paid Jamie? $300.
Boom.
Because what we had left over was $2,200 in our thing to disperse. So the techs got half, and then the officials got the other one based on how much time they invested. I think your payout's going to be $300, Kevin, for 70 hours. Congratulations, you greedy son of a bitch.
For all the time I had to take off of work, all the driving around, hauling games, setting them up, stressing out, getting yelled at by tournament players.
You greedy. You ruining pinball.
Yes.
Dude, I took 4 days off of work so other adults can come to Buffalo and we can entertain them.
That's right.
And guess what? I'm probably going to take $300 out of the pot after I sort everything out from what's left.
So
because I'm a scumbag.
You put all that time and effort in, super stressed out, and then to have somebody who's seen as an ambassador for pinball come at you like that, it's these are the people who are supposed to be supporting each other. Like we don't go to other tournaments and give tournament directors a hard time because we understand what a difficult job is.
Yeah, dude.
I've
never given a tournament director. I've never gone up to a tournament director and told him how to run it. I've never been to Indisc. I don't go to Indisc's Facebook page and start talking crap about their tournaments or asking where the money's going.
Right.
Is there an auditor going around and asking where all the money's going? Listen, I'm happy to show Papa and the IFPA if they want to see all the funds and expenses. I share it with Kevin. I share it with the techs who aren't even part of Buffalo Pinball. Everyone is seen as transparent. That's frustrating. It's insulting and frustrating.
Yeah, so you have these ambassadors for pinball who are supposed to be encouraging competitive pinball and more events happening. They're doing nothing but discouraging more people from running events. Because who's going to start run an event and want to have somebody come at them like that? You're going to see that and be like, well, forget this. I'm not going to run an event.
Why would I sign up for? Why would I take days off from work? Why would I? We don't play in the tournament. You and I don't play in it because in order to run a world-class tournament, you cannot do both.
No.
You have to dedicate all your time and energy on 5 hours of sleep and returning and doing whatever. So, we bring this up for a couple reasons. One, because Bones made this public.
Mm-hmm.
And we've held back really trying to defend ourselves because it takes forever back and forth online. So here's our platform. We're going to defend ourselves. And then Bone has a following because he's an influential person in pinball. He's done a lot of good through his tutorials. He also makes $1,200 a month doing tutorials, so I don't understand why he's talking about money. But he can get people riled up and questioning other tournaments and where there's money. I think people who put on these tournaments and invest a lot of time and sacrifice, my God, they should be compensated.
Well, and it just takes money to run events, especially, you
got to pay the club.
We're one of the few events that is not attached to a convention or a show of some sort, right? So we're strictly running a tournament. We're at a venue that we have to compensate. We have staff we need to compensate. We don't have the luxury of charging $100 to get into Replay FX or $120 or whatever it is, in addition to your $100 Pinburgh entry fee or whatever to kind of pool that money. A lot of the pinball players, the tournament players, they have no interest in the rest of Replay FX. They're only there for Pinburgh.
Right.
To play in Pinburgh, you have to pay that extra money.
I think it's Phil Birnbaum who said, look, he goes to Pinburgh because he wants to play in the tournament, but he's got to pay an extra $100 to get into Replay FX. Most of us don't care about Replay FX. I'm fine to pay that, and I have no complaints because that's what it costs and that's what it takes to make that happen. That's totally cool. But, you're paying for something you're not using, so be it.
Yeah.
Don't go if you don't like it.
Right. So that's my big point is that, we've been 100% transparent about, here's the entry fee, here's what's going to the prize pool. People have the ability to make the decisions on their own. And I think Fred Cochran made probably my favorite point in that thread. It was like, I consider pinball, I don't go to the casino. He said he considers it like going into the casino. He says, I was going to go spend X number of dollars. I'm going to hang out and play a bunch of pinball, hang out with cool people, have a good time. If I win some money, that's a plus. And that's definitely how I approach pinball tournaments.
Well, here's this conversation is kind of timely because it came up again on Facebook on Jeff Teolis's page, right? In terms of like more money being in the prize payouts and things like that. Here's my theory, and I think this holds a lot of weight. And thank you for the folks who defended us in the tournament. And on that, there so many people came to defend what we do, and I appreciate that. And it doesn't go unnoticed. We want to also take the time to defend ourselves right now because we didn't jump in there, and this is our chance to do that. But here's the deal. I think most people go to a pinball tournament for the experience, not because they're there thinking they're going to win X amount of dollars. Because it's one, the same people tend to win over and over again, and two, it's just not that much money even when you factor in expenses, no matter what the tournament is. But you go for the experience because we're competitive people, and when you go to a tournament, it's your chance to test your skills against other high-level people that you can't do that every day, right? You look for that opportunity. There's also the opportunity to see friends from around the country when you travel to a big tournament. That's what matters. It's the experience. Are the machines playing good, right? Are they working? And we delivered on that by having all these techs and compensating them. Is the tournament flowing, right? Like, is the software good that we, using Carl's software, things like that. Is the tournament well run? If you can answer all that and you have a good experience, then that's worth it for people. That's why people are going to these things. And Whopper points too.
Well, exactly.
The prize payout is not a priority for most people because most people know they're not going to get it, right? 80% of the people that go to a pinball tournament aren't getting paid. So why are they going to go? If they know that they can't compete and there's no rational incentive for them to go if they only care about the prize payout.
I think the question that prompted that discussion was, will pinball ever be as big as like esports and things like that? And we've talked about this in regards to streaming and how streaming can improve and grow the audience, especially at a tournament level. We did stuff with the Summer Open last year with instant replays, thanks to Mike Primo, and we had new stuff this year, so integrating more stats and things like that to keep people in the game. But what's really going to grow pinball is not being a dick to your tournament directors and your fellow players. We're in this yacht club, there's families around, there's people yelling at us. I've got one side of the tournament swearing and losing their minds on Saturday because it's the most stressful point in the tournament, and I've got the other half telling me to tell those people to stop doing that.
Oh yeah. Oh, kick that person out. What are you gonna do about that? It's like, dude, run your own tournament. We'll navigate and we'll run it the way we see fit.
And then,
I'm not talking. By the way, I'm not talking about the pop-up people because we get feedback from them and we welcome feedback because I learned so much from that. This is players telling us what to do or how to run the tournament.
Yeah,
there's nothing more frustrating as a tournament director to have somebody do that on the spot.
Like, you're not doing this right. Well, and along those lines, so Friday night into Saturday, a freaking tree falls on the power line for the yacht club because so there was supposed to be a boat cruise on Friday night. It got canceled because there was this thunderstorm and like tornado warnings and things like that. So we woke up Saturday morning to a Facebook Messenger post from Jamie. It says power's out on the whole north end of the island. So we're like, well, that sucks. So I'm like, what am I going to do, right? So I just get ready, get out there as soon as possible. And I got there. I was probably like the second or third person there. And Jamie's there, and he goes, oh, yeah, look over there. So you kind of peek your head through this bush, and you see there's a power line going right to the yacht club and a tree branch.
It right just hit that one. It just knocked out to the yacht club. It was just the yacht club.
Only the yacht club was
an act of God.
Yeah, so we're like, the active tree knocked the power line down. It's like, okay, now what do we do?
Talk about challenge.
So I'm like, all right. I'm a communications person, so I go into like crisis communications mode. I'm like, I need to alert all these people that this tree is on the power line. There's no power. Don't bother showing up because you don't need 150 people at the event milling around waiting to play pinball, right? So I get on Facebook and Twitter, and I start tweeting out, sending out pictures. This is what's going on. And then, so long story short, the crew ended up coming out, I think, because Jamie called them like 100 times and told them there was sparks and stuff flying. Get him even though there wasn't. It lit a fire.
What do we got to do, man?
They got there. There's 2 trucks. They got it done. We were back on and running. All said and done, we lost less than an hour of qualifying time, which was amazing. It was probably the best possible outcome of that situation. But it forced us to make a decision about what to do with the volunteer hour. So the Saturday morning, the volunteers were supposed to play at 9 a.m. before the regular qualifying started at 10. That's how we've done it the past 2 years. We understand it's not fair for the volunteers to get an hour at the end to kind of knock people out who had thought they had made the top 24, advanced.
Right. Which is why we schedule in the morning.
We understand that we're tournament players. We know that's how ideally we would want it to play.
Right.
Tree falls down. We have to
Act of God.
We have to adjust the
Nice
schedule.
Nice try, by the way. Kept us a whole hour. Big whoop.
So we're like, all right, do we either keep 100 plus people here until 1 a.m. qualifying and do the volunteer hour first?
And then you don't get to sleep at all,
right.
first of all.
Yeah, then we piss off 100 plus people. Or do we move the volunteer hour to midnight and just go with that and let everybody get in here?
Or like, just take it away from the volunteers.
Right.
Like, no,
Yeah.
like they're volunteers. That's their perk. That matters to them more than anything else. They have the time. So, of course, we move it to the end. And then you have people bitching about that. And it's like, dude.
I think one of the things that pushed me over the edge on Tuesday when I sent Nick that message, I went on Tilt Forums. There's like 5 threads about all the things that went wrong at the Summer Open. And, it's like you can't please these people.
Well,
like,
you made the mistake of reading the Tilt Forums.
I'm gonna not go on the internet anymore. So I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm done.
It's not worth it.
We have zero obligation to do this
I
tournament.
get like a stomach ulcer to planning this. Like, I have like no sleep. I get way behind in work. My life is like super stressful. And then like when you have people telling you how to run the tournament there, telling you to kick this person out or yellow card that person or
yelling
do this
at
and
the text when they're trying to work.
Oh my God. I asked the text. I was like, how'd it go? They're like, all right, but you got some assholes yelling at us. And I'm like, Jesus, like these texts, let me tell you again, $300 for 70 hours, all right? Jamie is not a tournament player. He does not play in tournaments, doesn't like them, all right? He's there because he's doing a good for the community. So is Mike, so was Neil, so is Mark Nagy, so is John Barsh, okay? These guys, not a single one of them are tournament players. They're not making money off this that's even worth writing home about.
Yeah. None of these people need this money.
And then they're there scrambling, running around, like losing their minds, taking time away from their families. They all have families. Mm-hmm. They're giving up many summer days in Buffalo, and the tournament players have the nerve to yell at them. Yeah. I got into this hobby because I love the community, but the more I see from it and some of the bad players and bad actors in it, I'm sorry it's clouding my judgment because you don't want to punish everybody for just a handful of people. But my God, that pissed me off.
Because there were, obviously there was a lot of people that came up and thanked us for running it. There was folks on Facebook the week after that said, "This is my first tournament. That you turned me into a pinhead." Those are the kind of things that we do this for. But when the bad starts to push on you to the level that it's been pushing on us, it's just like, all right, we need to take a break.
We need to take a break.
So. Whew. Have we vented? Did we say all the things?
We got another thing. The people who ask us without even a week of the tournament being done about when is it going to be posted on the IPA? Are you fucking kidding me? I am so behind on work. I need to relax. You're going to get your Whoppers, okay? Come on. My God. Pinburgh has been over for a month, and we don't have it posted yet. That's okay. Life will go on without your Whoppers.
Yeah.
You'll get it. By the way, it's been posted. It took me a week.
There you go.
So
not
a big deal.
Just to kind of put a bow on this, we start planning this tournament in like January. So
we planned it. We were talking about it in November. We went out to the yacht club in November.
So like
last year.
10 months of planning goes into an event like this. So when, if you think it's just us showing up.
Oh, and then I got a shitty letter from somebody on Tuesday.
Yeah. You're getting yelled at the event.
I got yelled at the event. There were people just making my life difficult in terms of being a tournament director. But I'm going to say it one more time. Do never give the tournament director shit. Don't never give that person shit.
If you don't like
respect
the event,
what's going on,
just
respect how they're running, don't come back, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's all I got to say. It's super stressful job because you got to discipline people, right? You have to make rulings that are going to like upset people. And I understand that as a player.
Mm-hmm.
And look, let me say something positive. There's so many good people that come to this event. This is just a small handful of people. Mm-hmm. There's so many people who are understanding. There's so many people that I've had a yellow card and they're like, I get it, dude. I was wrong. And like, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Listen, if you come to a bar league, you can do all that shit and more. I don't care. Right? It's a bar league. But for a Stern Pro Circuit event, we got to crack down, hand out yellow cards. I got to get on your case a little bit more than I normally would. Yep. Listen, I slammed the lockdown bar at the tournament last night that Kevin and I were in because I lost to Kevin. All right, on stupid pirates because I got sick of hitting.
And I red carded him.
Yeah, I red carded myself. But like that's first of all, I own that game. All right.
Yeah.
All right, and it's just it's a different environment.
Yeah, and when we're at a club where we're guests, we have to kind of be on our best behavior and show respect and all that.
But give the tournament directors some slack, man. Just understand that Kevin and I are both there because we love the hobby. We want to provide a good tournament for everybody. We're just trying to do our best. And that goes for every tournament people go to. Again, as you said, if you don't like it, just don't come back.
Yep.
We don't want you to come back if you're going to be a dick.
Yeah, please stay home.
Yeah, exactly.
So I will say that as soon as we agreed to not do the tournament next year, I instantly felt better. I felt great.
Yeah.
And then I went out and I won the monthly yesterday because I
go.
felt so much better. And I was like, all right, I honestly, like, pinball felt better last night because I wasn't stressing out like crazy. It's like, all right, this is how it should be.
We're gonna have a follow-up conversation with Doug Polka about what it costs to like run a tournament and stuff like that, because I think the other reason for bringing this up is I don't want people to be dissuaded. Charge whatever you need to charge to run a successful tournament. Just be transparent about it. Take care of people who are helping to run a tournament. That is super important. We have a good community, and I certainly believe in this. I know Kevin does as well, in taking care of the people who help put this together and doing our best to make sure that they're compensated to the best of our ability. Do that, because that's what makes the tournament sustainable and being able to run it every year and to do bigger events. Because if you don't take care of people, you're going to lose them, and it takes an army to do these bigger things. Yeah,
we had dozens of volunteers scorekeeping throughout the week. We had Buffalo pinball officials not playing, so there's like 5 of us just not playing and dedicating our time to run this event. So
yeah,
you need these people, otherwise you're not going to be able to do a tournament like this.
Yeah.
All right.
Whew.
All right. It's
good. You feel
High
better?
five. We did it.
You feel better?
I do.
All right. Well, you won a tournament yesterday, so
I won the tournament.
There you go.
We're not doing the Summer Open next year.
We're going to Cleveland.
We're going to Cleveland.
And we're just going to play.
We're going to play in a tournament.
We're not going to give anybody shit.
We're not going to be assholes.
How good or bad it is.
We're going to have to put the explicit tag on this podcast. It's all right. We needed it. It's good for everybody.
Don't people know already?
Yeah.
I mean, we always
Not to this extent. I think we threw a little extra in there. But
oh yeah, one more thing. Speaking of volunteers and scorekeeping, somebody had the nerve to yell at volunteers for just doing their job.
The scorekeepers?
Yes.
What? For like how?
That was another like.
Give me some context.
You got one person yelled at a scorekeeper for being loud, and then just being like, like they come over.
Oh yeah, because you're like trying to keep the keys moving, so you're calling.
And
people
then
over.
the other comments were that people were like crowding the area after the scorekeeper was telling people to stay out of the area too. So I had to run through with like a mic and be like, and tell everybody to get out of the area again, like the tournament area.
And then we have to like put up chairs and barriers. They have people not like use your brains.
We only do that so that when you're up playing the game, you have space, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not distracted by people tripping over you, getting around you. Like, I get that you want to see the game, but it's not a perfect world, okay? Yeah. So, come on, bear with us.
If you wouldn't want to be run into while you're playing a pinball machine, don't do it to your other players.
Please don't. All right, let's move on.
Are we done now?
We're done. We got it all out.
There's a lot. There's a lot. There was a lot of ground to cover.
I think the only way to improve and for people to repeat the same mistakes or jeopardize or ruin other tournaments is to start acting better.
Yeah.
Or if you see or call it like you shouldn't be able to act like that and be comfortable in the community. It should be uncomfortable to be an asshole in the community.
Right.
Is my impression of it.
Right. And I think it's just the nature of competition too, where especially on Saturday night, man, people are just like stressing the F out.
Pinday says you guys look like Obama after his presidency.
Yeah, we're gonna do the before and after, before Summer Open and after Summer Open.
Shout out, by the way, to God bless folks like Papa who do these bigger tournaments
Jesus.
And all the shit that they've seen. You guys are more than we can ever be. Like it's amazing. Like Zach. I'm sorry, Josh Sharp right now is probably just laughing. He's like,
these amateurs.
Amateurs. That's bad.
Yeah.
We're learning to get to his level maybe of like humor and taking it with a grain of salt. The other thing is, my God, can you believe that like Josh in the IFPA and like Adam Becker in the IFPA, they do all these stats and they do everything for no compensation that time and all the shit that they get.
Oh my God.
You want to talk about taking pinball to the next level? I thought we were done. You want to talk about taking pinball to the next level?
It's okay.
Let's start taking care of people again. Like, I don't care. Somebody started GoFundMe for the IFPA and Papa and all these folks who just give their time and get nothing in return. This has got to stop. This has got to stop where pinball people are supposed to be, oh, I'm passionate about the hobby, so they're like indentured servants. First of all, this is not a poor person's, a poor man's sport, poor person's sport, right? Or hobby. Half the people probably own a pinball machine. The other half the people are traveling to almost ton of tournaments. We all have enough money, okay, that folks like the IFPA and Papa and stuff, the days are over where they should run around and just do this because they love pinball.
Right.
This doesn't mean they have to get rich off of it, but we can all show our thanks by compensating it. I know that's their choice, but I wish they would go to a structure where they were taking a cut just to compensate for them for the time, because, again, sustainability, showing respect, taking care of people who donate their time. I have such an appreciation for what some of those folks do like I've never had before after just doing all this, putting ourselves out there, running tournaments. My God, thank you guys so much for doing that. It's amazing.
I talked to Fred at Pinburgh, and I was like, dude, I just look around at this event, and I think of our tiny little tournament and how much stress we put ourselves through running that. I was like, I can't even imagine doing something at this level. But
they're good people, man.
Yep.
Nothing but respect.
Yes. So go support Pinburgh.
And let's figure out a way to get these guys paid. Let's figure out a way to. Somebody start GoFundMe for IFPA. We're doing enough right now. But please, let's get them money.
Yeah. Throw it to Josh Sharp. Mm-hmm. There you go. Okay. Are we done now?
I think so. I said that last time.
All right. We'll
Deep
see.
breath. All right.
We're
getting there.
peek up there.
My motivation is to wrap this up so maybe I have time to stop and play Deadpool.
Ooh, there you
that
go.
game on.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Deadpool's that game on, by the way.
There you go.
Right now, it's getting
Go ahead and play
delivered.
it. All right, Q&A time. So these are questions and comments from folks. So every time we do a podcast, I reach out on Twitter and in our Discord, and I say, if you folks want to ask questions, we'll answer them on the show. If you want to do it in between now and then, you can send an email to talkpinball@gmail.com. But the first question comes from our Discord, and it's from Attack7777. He says, if you were required to bet half of your current net worth on a single game of pinball against an unknown opponent, which game would you choose?
Wow. I would have an easier time saying what game I wouldn't choose. I would never choose Walking Dead or Metallica.
They're too random, right?
They're too random for me. It would probably be a Steve Ritchie game. What comes to mind is maybe Game of Thrones, because I can consistently have like at least good games on that, if not great. I have more control over that. So again, it's the unknown opponent. You don't know what you're going to get. Maybe you get somebody off the street, so I wouldn't want a random game.
Yeah.
It would suck if I had to go up against my unknown opponent was Keith Elwin, because it wouldn't matter what game I chose.
Yeah.
And I almost want the Ram game, but he'll crush me in anything. So let's say Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
My pick is Lexi Lightspeed, because I have an unfair advantage of having streamed that for a month straight.
Yeah.
And know a lot of the ins and outs of that.
One of 10 people know that game.
More people than most people know. So
all right.
It's a controllable game. I know how it plays, so I'm going to go with Lexi. Because I'm going to know how to change the multipliers and get those going.
All right.
It's on that second button. That's how I'm going to win.
Awesome.
All right. Barnyard. That's a good choice, too. That's a little too random, though. Star Hedgehog wants to know if Buffalo Pinball will use glow balls in a future stream. So have you seen those?
You can put those in your game.
I would.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe I'll put them in Adam's games.
Okay.
But the Farsight guys were streaming. What were they playing? They were playing Big Buck Hunter. And
a real one?
They're streaming a real Big Buck Hunter. They had the glow balls in there with like a black light on it.
Yeah.
Looked really cool.
Okay.
It's like, maybe I'll do that someday.
All right,
maybe I'll talk to those guys, see if they got extra glow balls around. Because I know they got a partnership with that company.
Okay.
They can hook us up. And
Glowballs.com?
Glowballs.com.
Not the real name, probably.
No. Star Hedgehog probably knows.
Yeah.
All right. Nick716 wants to know how he can ruin pinball because he wants to fit in with us.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. Nick's off to a good start, Nick Kaiser. He can ruin pinball. He's going to be running a league at Masuda Chow. So he's going to get a taste for the action.
There you go. Uh-huh.
Yeah, start running tournaments. Start dedicating more of your time to helping people in pinball and putting yourself out there, and you'll start ruining it.
Create pinball content, create pinball events.
Yeah.
And then inevitably
You're really not doing a good job until people start going after you and attacking you. That's how I know we've made it, Kevin.
That's how you know you're really doing
and
a
the bigger the
job.
person going after you, the bigger you're doing a good job. Nicely done.
Good job. High fives. All right, over to Twitter. A couple questions from @01Proco. Proco is awesome. I got to give him a shout out because a lot of the times when I post the talk shows to YouTube, he'll go through and timestamp everything.
Oh, that's right.
That's him. So
dude, that's awesome. Everybody thank Proco.
Give him a high
making
five.
Life easier.
Thumbs up his YouTube comment if you're watching this right now. So he wants to know how long do you plan on reviewing your reviewing your. I think he meant like redoing your reviews at one point, especially those with major code updates.
Yeah,
We've talked about this.
yeah. We could, it would be a good show where we just kind of go through and update some of the ones, like end of the year or something like that.
You know what the point is going to be is when Batman 66 hits 1.0 code. That's when we're going to do it.
So never. We're up on 2 years, right? We're getting close to 2 years.
We're waiting because that's one of the games we have to re-review. I'm not re-reviewing that until it's at 1.0 code.
Set a standard.
There you
and
go.
You can hold us accountable when it comes out. Then we'll go up to Dr. Benz. Did he sell it?
I think he's still got it.
Okay.
I think he still got it.
God bless him for holding out hope.
And so Batman 60 hits 1.0 code. We'll go back. We'll re-review that. We can re-review Guardians, maybe Star Wars too. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of what else we did do.
You're
with
not
going
gonna
to
change
code.
it, yeah,
Star Wars. Spoiler alert, it's not going to change much.
Yeah, those are the games I think that
I do like Guardians a lot better than I did when it first came out.
Yeah, it's got rules now.
Yeah, imagine that.
Weird.
So, and his second question says, how long do you usually set up before Brody even talk Pinball? Which I thought was a really interesting question.
Good question.
Because there's a lot of setup time. I would say probably 2-3 hours all told between putting the rundown together of the topics we're going to talk about, reviewing. But
Wait, does he talk about Brody Even Pinball?
talk about well,
Brody Even BDYEP, Brody Even Pinball.
I'm guessing
We
he
could
means
say
this
both.
though.
You can do
I'll talk
both.
about this. So I have to go and steal all my news from This Week in Pinball. So I do that. That takes me,
Yep.
half hour. Grab a bunch of pictures of the things we're going to talk about, install them into the OBS, and get that ready.
You have to go get candy chicken or tacos and talk about it.
So
That's
that's
an
another
hour.
hour. And then we have, if there's a guest, we have to coordinate with the guest, get them lined up, get them on the phone, tell them how the show goes, and then put a lot of all that, and make sure everything's working. I have to test everything because anytime you go to broadcast, all your settings get screwed up. There's one thing, if I don't check it, then the audio sounds bad, so I got to check it, make sure it's working. So yeah, probably 2-3 hours all told to produce an episode of this. The good side of that is once it's done, it's done. I just chop off the front and back, and then off we go.
I love doing it live because like it's kind of crazy that we do it live and people you hear about people editing podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's edited.
I
No disrespect, but I listen to a lot of podcasts and it's like, man, just do it live because then you don't have to edit it and stay on point.
Well, they're not all as great as we are. You know what I mean? They don't have those skills.
I would recommend doing it live. It would probably be interesting to hear some of them live.
We're doing it live.
What do you miss? Yeah.
Exactly.
You mess up, you get to hear it. So no take backs.
So then after for the podcast, I have to trim it, upload it to YouTube. And then there's the audio version I have to cut out, put that up on Podcast Garden. And then that feeds out to all the other platforms automatically. But then I go and I post on Tilt Forums and Pinside and our social media and share that it's out there. So yeah, there's some work on either side of the
A little bit.
podcast.
Kevin does a little bit of work. Is what he's trying to say.
For this free podcast that you're all enjoying.
He does the heavy lifting. I drive out to Kevin's house.
Yeah.
That's
the trade-off.
Yeah.
So for Brody Even Pinball, why don't you talk about an episode of that, like what goes into that?
So Brody Even Pinball. Most of it's just moving and setting up the camera equipment, and I like to have like 45 minutes before a show in case things go wrong. So if we're going to a location, like we need to show up at the location for 45 minutes, getting the stand, getting everything set up. That takes time just adjusting like the angles. Then inevitably Martha or Jay is going to be playing the game that we're trying to set up on and have to yell at them. That's another 5 minutes of just yelling and debating with them, getting out the game, being called names.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking at my watch and saying, where's Kevin? Because the kids are misbehaving. So then we load up the software. The software, of course, doesn't work or something's wrong.
Windows update has to happen.
We make sure we got the right ads going on. Then there's Windows update happens. Then something goes wrong with the stream. We have to restart the internet, and then we're panicking. And then we sometimes go live right at 8:00. And usually by that time, the stress level's at a 9 out of 10.
And Nick and I are just checked out, and we're like, whatever, just just do what you're gonna do on this show.
You need a production crew. We have like a green room just come out 5 minutes before the show.
You have to be the guest, the talent, and also the production crew.
That's good. Yeah, so it's easy though. We're making a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
So
easy.
How much have you made How much have you been paid out since we started streaming in 2015?
Like negative whatever.
You've not got any money, right?
No.
I paid out $1,000 to myself.
There you go.
From the last year, but that's after 3 years. You're getting $1,000 too.
Then
Just to let you know, guys, because I know more people are getting into streaming. They think we're rich kids because of this.
Yeah.
There's really we're investing back in the stream.
Guess where I put that $1,000 is going into my Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
That you're going to be able to see on the stream. So
yeah, it goes into the game, so we just buy more games and.
There There you
But
go.
I'm just saying that's after 3 years. The ROI is pitiful.
4 seasons
The
in
amount
a
of
row.
times I've like crawled under like dirty floors, but like, what is? I hope that's beer. Like, I don't know what that is.
That's right.
I'm just gonna pretend it's beer, and we're gonna hook these cables up, and then I'm gonna yell at Jay a little bit more, and then okay, we're gonna start.
That's right. We
And
appreciate
again.
all of you who donate and subscribe and
Yeah.
support us on Patreon. You guys are
Yes,
awesome.
thank you. You
It
keep
helps.
us going.
It helps.
You see
It's-
this?
it's motivation.
If you could see the stress that goes on, you guys keep us going. So that's a huge thing.
There you go.
for
Skip
guys.
Natty with 1 bit right now. That's
Look at that.
boom. That's good
It
for
fell
another
out of the
episode. Oh, it's my tears.
All right, next question.
All right. So we talked about this, but the Pin Daddy Steve K. Haberman on Twitter says, "What was going through your mind when the power went out at the Summer
I
Open?"
was like, of course it went out.
of course.
Of course it did. I'm just like, there's nothing you can control, so I'm just sort of sitting there. And it was actually quiet in the club for a while, so it was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was out of our control, right? There was nothing we could do about it, so it was like, I'll communicate as best I can.
Yeah.
Spread the word, but you know,
I'm like, if somebody can't understand if a tree falling on branches out of control, and some people don't,
obviously,
like,
yeah,
then all right.
tillforums.com.
So
we can find out about that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, communicate. Let's try to get this up as fast as we can, and once it's back up, we couldn't even really make a decision at that point because you didn't know how long it was going to be up to
Yeah.
adjust the schedule. So we had to kind of wait and see where things were going to be once the power was back on, and thankfully it didn't take long.
I was optimistic. I'm like, all right, it happened at 7 a.m. Like, there's time to fix it, right? It would suck if it was like we were in the classic finals. It's
Yeah.
like 7 o'clock on Saturday night and it went out.
Bam.
That'd be a disaster. So yeah. All
Gordon
right.
wants to know if you used any potty words when the power went out.
I think I was too exhausted. Man. I was just beaten down by then. I was just trying to make it through the day on adrenaline. So not really. It's crazy. Asking for a friend. Is it true Mixer Tuna has dentures? And if so, what is his favorite denture cream?
That's from Rudy Soup.
What? I didn't even need to read the name to know it's Rudy Soup. I don't know, dude.
I don't
It's
have
a tuna
the,
question.
I don't have the inside scoop on Tuna's dentures.
Hopefully you guys saw Mixer Tuna's evil twin, right? At Pinburgh, that picture I posted. That's amazing.
That reminded me of a point I wanted to bring up. So there's
That guy was awesome too.
There's a listener from Sweden. It was his friend.
Patrick. Oh no! Well, Patrick was the guy who looks like Tuna.
Yeah, Patrick's friend. I can't remember his name. We're friends on Facebook now, but he said I was like the Barry White of pinball podcasting. So
There you go. That made Kevin's day.
made my weekend.
Yeah.
So
you know how to butter Kevin up.
that's
Just
right.
tell him that.
Yeah. It was during the Intergalactic tournament. I was like,
Okay.
there you go. He's like, you're like Barry White, right? And
There
I was
you
like,
go.
yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. So thank you for that. It made my weekend.
All right, let's close this down. I'm gonna go play some Deadpool.
All right, so Brody Even Talk Pinball, or Brody Even Pinball, comes back on September 6th.
5th season.
Season 5.
Season 5 starts.
Wow.
What's the theme? Last year was Three's Company.
Three's Company. Well, now we got Joe Cherovino doing the thumbs up. And you were going to do, you ruined it from Billy Madison.
Theme is
right?
ruining pinball.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
We got a new logo.
Yeah. We do.
So that's so we'll give you the advance notice that it's going to be total nuclear annihilation to kick off the season. So
Yeah.
we're really looking forward to playing that. It's a great game.
Awesome.
And yeah, so Patreon. Do the Patreon thing.
Patreon. Look, we got a Patreon because people asked for it. It's dying out, I think. It's lost some steam. Maybe I've not been hyping
man.
it enough.
You need to hype.
Look, you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys are supporting us on Twitch, which is awesome. So don't worry about Patreon. If you're not, you listen to this and you don't care about Twitch. Hey, and you want to show us some love? Go to patreon.com/Buffalo Pinball. Throw us anywhere from $1 to $1 million. It's cool. We'll
Million,
take it. We'll
yeah.
take it all.
Anything.
Yep.
All of it. You can also sub the Twitch channel if you're not. If you have Amazon Prime, you can sub at no extra charge with Twitch Prime. Or just give us a follow. That's a great way to support us at no cost to you. It's free to do. And
Do a
we love you
review
for
on
it.
iTunes and stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw all your
Give us a
5-star reviews at us.
5-star.
5 stars or bust.
Suggested 5-star rating.
You can also follow us on social media if you're watching live. It's all at the bottom of the screen. We're at Buffalo Pinball on everything. And you can email us if you want to have your questions answered on a future episode at talkpinball@gmail.com. And then what? Oh, see, there you go. Right on cue. The Girl Geek gifted a sub to our mod who is not a sub.
Damn
Thank you.
it, Goran.
Thank
Damn it. Now I'm angry at you again.
Now, you know, he was
It's
worried that you
official.
were mad.
Yeah, I was happy for a day.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Girl Geek saved
Thank
it,
you,
though.
Girl Geek.
She's amazing. So thank you for gifting subs.
He's freaking out. All right. All right. We'll catch you next time. We'll see maybe at Cleveland.
All right.
How about that?
Come out and
Talk to me
Cleveland.
after the tournament.
Let's play some pinball.
right.
We can ruin it all together, you guys.
There you go.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one. We'll see you next month.